Okay, this is video number 4 in the series. Once again, my name is Jeffrey Scott Myers. I'm the founder of Quantum Levels Healing Academy of Sciences, as well as first-year doctor student at Quantum University, working on my doctorate in quantum physics and integrative medicine. I wrote the article here, so I always see me reading off the article. I like to point out a few things that others don't consider when it comes to multiple sclerosis, MS. So if you do suffer from MS, this is important for you to read, and they say there's actually, from the CDC, 200 new cases a week, which is insanity. 200 new cases a week. And I'd like to talk about real quick about this distinction between voluntary and involuntary muscle action, which another thing that nobody points out, and I do, because again, outside of the box thinking. Couple key points of why nutrition and calorie restriction are so vital with a person who suffers from MS. Involuntary muscle action, an area people just tend not to consider, is the inner workings of the body when they think of MS versus the external. Everybody's always thinking about the external muscles, but never the internal muscles, which need to be considered. Consideration with involuntary muscles, smooth muscles, such as lungs, stomach, peristalsis, the intestinal tract, the urinary tract, and other organs depend on muscle contraction to function properly. Okay, this occurs by hormonal signals, neurotransmitters, and electricity. If the signal is not able to reach the designated target cell, this muscle contraction will not happen. As well as energy not flowing properly through the body. We see the exterior things without considering the internal. Okay, we need to consider the internal on these things. Proper nutrition, vitamins, especially minerals, will keep the pathways of the body working properly, keep everything in balance, homeostasis. The body needs to stay in balance. This is very important. Along with the negative and positive feedback loops have to be addressed as well, taken into consideration. And keeping the inflammation down that will hinder that process as well. Being the body's not moving as often, when someone has MS, they tend to be more immobile, unfortunately. Having the lymphatic system free of toxins plays a major role as well. The lymphatic system is where we detox toxins of the body into the connective tissue and out, and lymphatic system moves by muscle contractions, not by the heart, not by like the heart beats. It doesn't pushes blood through the system, but the lymphatic system works by muscle movement to move that. Poor nutrition, basically proper nutrition and calorie restriction. The body will not have to work as hard, limiting the energy the body has to use in order to in this process of involuntary muscle actions, such as the digestive tract not having to work as hard to digest food. Moving the body will allow the involuntary muscles to have more blood and nutrients, as well as oxygen, which is vital for muscle contraction. Delivered, especially allowing more blood flow to the joints, which is very important to consider as well. Keep in mind, voluntary muscle movement or involuntary, there's still actual muscle, myocytes, muscle stimulation. Mechanical massage with a stick or a roller or some type of device like that works well to stimulate the internal muscles, the smooth muscles. Mechanical pressure stimulates nerve firing, as well as piezoelectricity, that's pressure, electricity caused by pressure. Electrical charge due to pressure, which plays an important voluntary muscle contractions and neurotransmission. Electrical stimulation with a TENS unit or any other device will also stimulate better neuron firing to allow neurotransmitters to act upon smooth muscle contractions as well. We also hold memories in our muscles as well. It's trapped calcium ions that have to do with that. And also it's very important to not have the muscles contract, because when the muscles are contracted like this, energy doesn't flow properly. How can energy flow properly to the muscles and involuntary muscles when the body's in contraction? It just won't happen. So these are important things to consider. The involuntary muscles, meaning without thought, these areas, they still are muscles, even though we don't think about them. They just work automatically through the autonomic nervous system. It's very important that we take those into consideration as well. However, as always, nothing happens until quantum physics kicks in, and the innate intelligence and the life force of the body triggers these involuntary and autonomic nervous system actions, okay, to happen. Involuntary muscle contractions, heartbeat, blood pressure, temperature, urinary tract, organs, cell division, firing and wiring, the digestive system, breathing. These are just a few examples of the self-consciousness of the body that can only be explained by the life force, chi, prana. Okay, nobody can explain how this works. Okay, it's the innate intelligence of the body. There's no explaining it. There's no Newtonian physics that can explain it. There's no linear systems that can explain everything. You can't explain how the body does what it does. It just does. So the life force basically starts with the chemical and biological process of the body, which drives the physiology and the anatomy of the body. Okay, this is done by energy. Everything comes down to energy, as always. First law of conservation: energy can never be created or destroyed. It only changes forms, and it comes down to vibration and frequency. Vibration of atoms carries information. Okay, it carries information, and that information is used by the body to determine what the body will do. So these are things that just really can't be explained, but they happen, and they are happening, and they need to be taken into consideration. With that, and coherence as well. The frequencies in the body have to be coherent. They can't be all up and down all the time. It needs to be smooth for things to work properly. It's basically, again, comes down to from wave to particle to matter. That's what it basically is. And then, the crazy thing is we focus on, an atom is 99.9999999% empty space. If we focus on the 0.0000001%, that's matter versus energy. So I hope this doesn't confuse people, but it's really how things work, and we need to take these things into consideration. So proper nutrition, keeping in mind the electrical nature of the body, and the nutrition, calorie restriction, etc., are great for involuntary smooth muscle contraction. So there you go.